Welcome to Peace in the Valley, where adventure starts at home.
So I've heard a few people comment or ask, what is the story, or this mallet looks like there's a story behind it, or two. There is. Bryce might tell the story better than me though, but I'm going to tell it anyway. As you guys may or may not know, we have 4 adult children. We have 3 boys and 1 girl. Our girl is our baby. We had the boys, all of them actually, from, let's see, our oldest was born in 97 in June. Our second was born in November of 98. Our third boy was born in July of 2000. And then Julia, our daughter, was born in April of 02. So, stair step, I had 4 under the age of 5 at one point. And it was great. But so anyway, the boys, when they were tiny, Bryce wanted to do things with them. He wanted to teach them how to do things. So anytime he had a project, or any time he was doing anything, whether it was mowing the yard, whether it was digging a hole, whether it was learning a computer program, or wanting to play a new video game, one of the boys was on his lap, holding his hand in his arms, right beside him. And if they were old enough to stand, they were following him around. And this is one of those projects. Jerison in particular, our second born, he loved to build things. He loved to make things. He wanted to know how they came apart and worked, and why did they work like that, and why do you have to use that for this, and all that. He was so inquisitive, always inquisitive, and he loved to make things. He also liked to hurt himself. I remember one particular instance when he came in yelling and his pinky finger was a little bit smashed on the end. We had to kind of put it back together with a Band-Aid and hope it wasn't broken. It wasn't. But anyway, I digress. So they decided they needed a hammer, a good hammer that they could pound hard things and it would be okay. And so Bryce was always good at doing research and figuring out how people used to make things instead of the modern way. And this is one of those products. And over the years, it is always our go-to mallet. You can see it's been damaged and it's been stressed and tested to its limits. But if I had to guess, this hammer is at least 23 years old, 22 maybe. 2 decades, made of just 2 pieces of wood, smushed together. I'm gonna let Bryce add in here what I missed. He'll tell you the mechanics on how it was built. I don't know that part. I'm just the mom, like it says in Luke, that Mary treasured all these things and pondered them in her heart. This is one of them.
We also got in a new, let's find out what it looks like. I might have to carry it outside here. I wonder what's in here. I actually got this a little bit back. It is a new flat edge Piranha Bar. Man, it's heavy. For the tractor. See that? One thing I just noticed between this Piranha Bar and the other Piranha Bar is, this is 3 inches further back. I'm not sure why, because they had me specify whether I had purchased one before, and I did. So I'm gonna have to build, or excuse me, drill another hole back here. Oh well, it is what it is. Can you see the difference in length? Quite a bit different. We got the new Piranha Bar, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, and we're going to try to put this on. It's significantly heavier. Don't drop it on your foot. It's quite a bit heavier than the original Piranha Bar. And I just want to point out that the bolts are not in the same position as they were, even though we specified on our order. So I think what I'll do, which it's not necessarily a bad thing, because the last one had it on the rib and I couldn't get the bolts all the way on. So I think what I'll do is take the other Piranha Bar and weld these extenders onto it. Weld extenders onto it, not these. These are going to stay on this one. Okay, we'll see what happens. This edge is super sharp. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it is really sharp, and I assume that that'll wear off somewhat. But we're going to pound this back. We're going to attempt to use our step bit that we got from before, and we're going to pound this on. Now, Angel talked to you about this old hammer, I think. And I can't really tell you much more because I don't remember. I just know it's always been there with me, it seems like, from the time we were first married, and it's always been there, and I just always grab it. It's like an old friend. You don't let an old friend down. Also, if you're pounding this on, make sure that you have an old log handy. Don't be using your good tools or your metal on the blade here. It'll either split or damage this, so you keep old logs around just for this task. Okay, I think we're pretty well on there, and I'm going to draw a circle there. Same on this side. I'm going to take it back off. If I can get it back off. We have the new blade on. We're going to go out and test it and see how it works. We got to do it before Angel gets home, or she might see what we're going to do. Remember the old adage, it's easier to beg for forgiveness than to ask for permission. And that's probably true in almost all cases to save a marriage. I just got out my chainsaw because I was going up to cut off that limb that's broken down, and something sounded funny. And even though it's an electric chainsaw, you still have to maintain them. It's still mechanical. You still have to do what it takes to make sure it runs at optimum condition. And it doesn't matter if it's gas or electric, you have to know what your equipment's supposed to sound like. If not, you could be causing lots of problems for yourself down the road. So make sure you keep listening to your equipment. Make sure that has the right sound. That might be one of the most important maintenance tips you can get. Wait a minute. I don't do tips. So, anyhow. So I want to show you what we want to do here before our next rain. We're going to pull these bricks out, and if you notice the level of the concrete versus the ground, we've got a couple of inches, and that's all the way around the concrete that you can probably not see on the camera. And water likes to sit on the concrete because the ground is higher. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here either with that new blade or the box blade, come in and just pull it back. Then we're going to scoop this dirt out, replant seed. That way we're level. There used to be a tree that sat here that lifted the whole ground up, and then obviously the concrete got partially covered through leaves falling down and turning back to dirt. So the goal here is we're going to clean this all up, push it back all the way around. We're going to get the dirt at least 6 inches away from the concrete at level. And then I want to actually go and take it off because of that old tree stump that used to be here years ago. Now that we have the tractor, I think we have the tools to finally get the job done. What do you think of that rock? We have places here where the dirt is probably 5 inches higher than the concrete. And the water kind of sits here because, well, the concrete is cracked, it's old. But I don't think we have to have it sit here. I think we can actually have it divert the other way towards the grass instead. What we are doing here on this project is the dirt has grown up higher than the concrete has, and we would like to eliminate the water wanting to pool on the concrete. There is a drain, and it works somewhat when the water gets so high, but it's old concrete and it's shifted around. And what we're going to do is pull the grass off the concrete edge, and then put a little bit of a dip in the dirt so that way the water can run off. Hopefully that'll solve some of our problems.
Now we are getting close to our peppermint patch. We've got to remove this. It's a weed anyway. We do like it, but it just takes over everywhere it grows. I know this is sped up a little bit, but you can tell the cutting ability of this new BX expanded blade. It's fantastic. And it just keeps cutting and cutting and cutting. And it does a good job. We picked up an electric line right here, and we're going to make sure that we avoid it, but still clean up. Another reason this here was all mounded up was because there used to be a tree here. And if you look closely, there's a kind of a dark brown or a lighter brown spot where the tree roots are still breaking down and rotting. And that is part of what we're doing right here. We have the same thing on this side over here, and you can just see how well it picks up that sod. It just rolls it right up. And what we found underneath was surprising. We actually have a drive underneath the sod. And did you see how much we just picked up? A super heavy load right there. Very, very heavy. You see that. And the tractor is pretty much at its limits with this much weight. You're going to see to the point where we can't pick up anymore. Watch this blade just cut right through the sod. I think we might be a little too close to those tires with this sharp blade. So you can see right here, that's actually driveway gravel underneath there. This used to be a drive, it looks like. So we may end up clearing more than we thought just to get back to the old stone. What are you doing?
Hanging up clothes.
At least we're airing our clean laundry.
Yeah, exactly.
So how far does that drive, that old gravel, come out? Well, you can see how well the new Piranha Bar is doing. It's actually doing pretty good. I can tell it does not cut as well as the other one, but I'm not sure it was meant to. The one with the teeth. The amount of dirt that it can carry is a lot. I don't know if I'm cutting too deep or not. It looks like the sod is peeling away from the rock. So we might just be able to just put it right back down after we peel the sod off.
still stone clear over here. It's amazing how much the dirt can build up over the years. Now, I'm not sure who put this here or how long it was here, long before we were. But if I can save some of that gravel, I will. So we're gonna put some mesh down. Probably should move the trailer then too.
Yeah, probably should.
Load right here, we were certainly at the weight limit of this tractor. It could not lift it more than just a tiny bit every time I'd pull on it. And you can see, if you speed it up fast enough, you can see it sag fairly quickly.
Yeah. Well, there's when you do concrete,
Oh yeah.
you always put that rock down there.
So that must
And
be
you're
the
at the
thing.
edge.
Yeah.
So Angel found a tree growing up there, which is probably part of the problem of this crack. Right here. This bad root. And we might get to try out our new hooks that we put in. Do not cut that electric wire really close.
I know, I see it.
Okay.
It needs to be moved some way.
We'll move it. Actually, we'll move it. It's just we got to get all this out first.
Yeah.
So Angel's working on that. This turned into quite the project today, and I guess it's a good thing we have equipment that can do it, because we found all this rock. Okay, there's all this stone, and I don't know if it's called river run, but it's the packing kind that used to be under all that grass that was there. So we moved all the sod off. That means we got to move the trailer because there's got to be more there. We always questioned it because of this right here was stone, seemed to be. So Angel started probing out here, and she actually found the edge where she dug, the edge of the drive that used to be. So we're going to work with the tractor and see, and right here is where it curves over. So what happened was, from what we gather, and we talked to somebody from church, and they said there used to be a house over here. You see where the clothesline is, or the tractor? Said there used to be another house there, and our driveway was actually a shared driveway. Now in town, a lot of you will know what a shared driveway is, but we have never really experienced that because there was never a house here. But a long time ago, we had some people tell us that there used to be a house, and that is why we are hitting this stone. So we're going to see if we can scrape off the rest of the sod down here. It wants to pull up anyway because it's just sitting on stone. And I'm going to use the box grader to see if we can use the tines to cut through the sod and lift it up. We're going to then put it off to the side and then come back and scrape it up. We're going to see how that goes. Hopefully it goes well. Okay. We're going to see how that does. And see if maybe we can pull that up. The right side's not on. It just wasn't quite far enough. Just push forward, just go forward. There you go. Used to be a tree right here. I don't know. It's a piece of concrete. A piece of sidewalk. Tilt, lift it up and tilt the bucket forward. Or tilt it down. Okay, tilt it down. Okay, lift it up. Right there. Okay. Now, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna ratchet strap it on. I could use chains, but this will also hook right to it. Well, let's stand back and see what happens. Lift it up. Well, saw what happened.
Well, that was an utter failure.
This is a good reason to get a hydraulic top link. So you can tilt this so we're not taking off material off the top until we're ready. So right now we're just going to engage these, and then later we'll come back and just do what we want.
I am trying not to hit the house here. It's pretty easy to do, and I'm actually an expert at running into things with this tractor. This is what the driveway ended up looking like before we've even added stone. So far we haven't. I think it turned out pretty well. Here is the straight Piranha blade, and this is what it looks like after cutting through all that dirt, back dragging the gravel. Sorry about that. Back dragging the gravel and much more. I have to say it worked very well. That is really nice thick steel. Here's my other one, and it works well too. We'll probably be putting it back on because I do like this one for cutting through material better than this one. But this does allow you to pick up a lot more, and maybe to its detriment, because if you saw in the video, we actually ran into several places that we could not lift up the entire thing all the way, or it was going really slow. And that's, of course, carrying a lot of heavy weight, but that is kind of what you may run into. Anyhow, that's my review. I would say it's a good buy, especially if you want to add a little more volume to your bucket.